This is Sunday, May 25th, 2025, headed into Monday as well. I'm here to do your energy forecast, overall energy forecast for this week. And name of the game this week, a couple things that are name of the game this week. First, we're going to feel that tug to move forward and pick up our pace, and still no need to push it. We still got a few more days to gather ourselves in, collect ourselves in, because I promise you, once the go juice hits, once the button hits to move forward, we're gonna go. And June is a very big month, very active month, and still I've a few more days. Take stock, gather yourself in, feel that core place. Still a very good thing to do. That's my human interpretation when I look at all of this. And then spirit interpretation, when I was looking at the energy forecast here down below that I'm going to show you in a few minutes, spirit team, all they said to me kind of went cross-eyed a little bit, they said emotional blender. Emotional blender. I was like, oh, we really do not need another one of those this week. But then I got to looking at the astrology and I'm like, oh yeah, emotional blender. So even if you are feeling that pull to begin to really move forward, I'm telling you, another good week to kind of take stock, because we're going to feel that swirl of the emotional blender. It's all in the astrology, and I'm going to show that to you in just a moment. Now, I do want to give you a couple of announcements, a couple of heads up. I have just finished that whole dream home manifestation worky workshop with my live with some wonderful people. So I'm kind of in the glow of that, the afterglow of that coming off of that. And I will be producing that to release late Monday, early Tuesday. So watch for that. That's going to be $8.95. Thank you to everyone who showed up for that free live. It was really fantastic to be able to do that, and as usual, I left it all on the playing field. So many great nuggets, so much more came through than what I was expecting. So really great recording that I'm going to have for you later on this week. Then after that, coming into next weekend, I don't know, it'll be a Saturday-ish, Sunday, maybe even Monday release. Spirit team has been all over me. They've been pendulum check the senators, pendulum check representatives in Congress. You really need to do this for your people. So I'm going to do this. I am going to spend this week and I'm going to pendulum check every single person that represents us in Washington, D.C. My categories, and you can weigh in on these if you want to give me some categories. I'm taking suggestions. The categories so far are: who is truly representing us? I'm going to give a percentage pendulum on that. Then I'm going to have a column of who thinks they are representing us, because I think there's a difference. When I have pendulum checked certain senators, certain Congress people, my pendulum is showing that they think they're representing us when they really are not. So I'm going to have a distinguishing mark on that. Who truly is representing us, and then who thinks they are representing us. I think Spirit Team's going to come up with some other categories, and I would love some of your suggestions, because what we are headed into this summer, we need to know who we can trust. We need to know who we can trust. We can look at their voting record, we can look at the money, the sponsorship, but I think the pendulum can kind of show us a little bit more of what's going on behind the scenes that I think is going to surprise all of us, especially on the Democrat side, especially with what I've been seeing. I'm going to be talking about that. So that's number 2 announcement. Okay, let me flip the camera around and let's get to this. Here we are right here on the 25th of May, 2025. I'm recording it here on this day. This is the week that we just did, and I got to tell you, you got through this week. Congratulations. It was one hell of a week. It really got us prepped for what is coming. And I'll be talking more about that in some other videos coming out this week. All right, then let's go ahead and walk into top of the week of May 26, 2025. Like I said before, Spirit Team, kind of on the minus side, giving us a heads up. It's an emotional blender this week. So moving forward fast is going to be a little bit challenging. I had picked up that if we move forward fast, we might end up tripping over our own heels and not seeing obstacles. So it's a great, like I said before, it's a great week to kind of keep it reined in. Now, but on the plus side, I want you to see this, all the preparation, all the stuff that we have been doing emotionally and energetically over the past weeks. We now have wisdom from that. We have somatic wisdom. Our bodies now know things and are prepared for things that are coming. So we are more in a state of readiness. So this is on the plus side. And another plus side, we are beginning to move forward a little bit. And that is really going to feel kind of lovely. Again, be careful. Don't go off to the races, but we are going to be able to move forward a little bit. Now, what is causing the emotional blender? Like when Spirit Team gave me the heads up on emotional blender, I started looking at the map here and I'm like, why is this an emotional blender? And you know why it's an emotional blender? Mercury. Mercury is ripping through all kinds of signs here. Look at Mercury's headed into Gemini. We got a new moon, so it's new beginnings. And so Mercury into Gemini is a lot more mental talk, it being a lot more active upstairs in your head. And then we kick off the week with Mercury doing logistics and talking in the intuitive nature of things, Neptune. And then the next day we switch into it being about death, rebirth, reconstruction in Aquarius with Pluto. Dun, dun, dun. And then we switch over to Lilith, which is that logistics and talking with those underlying passions. And look at Lilith is in an inconjunct with the sun on slow burn. And so this is about self passions coming to the surface. Here's your emotion. There's emotion. There's the blender. Got it? Emotion blender. And then, not to be outdone, we land at the end of the weekend. Chiron, wounded healer, in conjunction with Venus, who is the great feeler. So, gonna kind of churn, passions coming to the rise, being in our head a lot. And then we land at the end of the week with feeling it up with wounded healer, feeling our feels with Venus. So when Spirit Team said emotional blender, I think they knew what they were talking about. So again, we might feel a sense of wanting to move forward. I would not do that too rapidly because there is a lot of tripping over ourselves if we are not careful with it. Now, the next thing I want to give a heads up on that I did not have time for that I think is worth note, I pendulum checked for timeline jumps and energy gateways, and I didn't, there really aren't any this week, but the pendulum started really tugging here. And from what I could tell, this space of Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of the following week, we are hitting the first rip chords of the first 3 days of 3 days of timeline jumps and energy gateways stacked on one another. What did I tell you guys? We're preparing, and it begins on June 1st. It begins on June 1st, like right out of the gate. So take these next 4 or 5 days and soak in the prep, slow it down. You don't need to go off to the races. We're going to be feeling our feels anyway. And just be ready. We're gonna start a little bit of warming up with like a 2 or 3 day timeline jump right out of the gate next week. So interesting times for sure. And then let's take a look here at the Oracle deck cards that I pulled. And just real quick, if you're brand new, I've got Somatic Money Oracle deck. This is the one that's most up to snuff. This is the first edition. You can go look those up on my website, www.somaticmoney.com. Learn a little bit about what they are. But just wanted to let you know that this week is represented here in the Oracle deck pull with first card I pulled, Feminine Money EQ. To me, this says we're feeling our feels. We're going to be feeling our feels with our money. So if you are feeling your feels with your money and you're feeling your triggers with your money, that is normal for this week. And that's okay, because then you can stop, feel your feels, do your work, do your emotional energy work with your money, because this is a great time to do it. Now, here's the pitfall. Whatever is going on with this week of the feeling of the feels, it can be easily weaponized against us, or we can easily weaponize it against one another. So feeling our feels and feeling our feels and feeling our feels, heads up, weaponization. If somebody is weaponizing against you, you can use boundaries. Resilient financial boundaries. Look at that card that came up. So if you're getting weaponized against, use your boundaries and catch yourself that you are not weaponizing against someone else. This is our pitfall this week, to be careful. And Spirit Team heads up, they basically said, if in doubt this week, God, call on your team, call on your team, call on your team, call on your divine financial light team to help you out with feeling your feels, the weaponization. You've got boundaries to help you out. You've got your divine financial light team. Oh, I can hear somebody saying, use us as a buffer zone to help with this. If you're seeing this going on or feeling this going on, use Spirit Team to be the light shield between you and someone else in weaponization circumstances, between you and someone else if you feel the urge to pop off. Divine Financial Light Team as a light shield is going to be fantastic as a boundary buffer zone. See, these cards are working with us. Processing, feeling your feels, watch out for weaponization, Divine Financial Light Team as a buffer, and use those boundaries. Okay, so that's what I've got for you for this week. That's quite a bit, but I know we can do it because this week, even though there's going to be a complexity of a role of emotions going on, it does not feel nearly as heavy. It does not feel nearly as hard. Yes, there's going to be challenges, but I don't think we're going to get clobbered, famous last words, like we have been in some of the previous weeks, okay? Oh, and some of you have been asking for kind of like my predictions or what I see going on in the landscape energetically and politically. That is my intuitive state of the nation. That's it right there. And one of the things I'm doing right now is I learned the hard way with the whole Kamala Harris thing, not to hitch my psychic star to one person in a certain outcome. Learn the hard way, not going to do that, not going to do that anymore. So you're not going to really be seeing me make any one-pronged psychic predictions, not unless my spirit team comes out and says, we need you to do that right now. I'm not going to do that. And here's part of the reason with it. I do complex, layered psychic work, psychic energy work, psychic predictive work. It's layered, it's complex, it's nuanced, and that's that whole intuitive state of the nation thing that I'm doing. And so you can't really do that in a 10-minute video. You really can't do that in a 10-minute video. And that's why I'm doing the 60 to 75-minute greater look at the landscape so we can see this greater lay of the landscape so that we know better how to navigate what's going on. So if you're looking to me for like, what about Donald Trump? Or what about this one person? Or what about this? Or what about that? Not really my jam. I can speak to that in a greater landscape. I think we got bigger fish to fry, people. I think we've got a lot larger fish to fry. And that's why I'm panning back and looking at the larger landscape, especially right now, or we are going to miss it. So if you want those questions answered, go take a look at my intuitive state of the nation. That's why I did it. That's why it is there. That's what I've got for you today. Make sure to keep walking forward to meet those miracles along the way. And I will see you in my next video. Mwah.